Now we're going into the communication. How do they move? So the queen, as I just told you, is all over the place. All over the place. So people will tell me all the time, oh, you all over the place, you're doing too much, you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I say, yeah, yada, 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 whatever, results. That's what I'm getting, results. I don't care. And I ain't got no filter neither. So I'll say something and can't pull it back and be like, ooh, I didn't really intend for that to come out like that. But if you really ask me about it, I don't really care too much neither because I'm a results-driven person. And if you stuck around too much and you rub me the wrong way, I'm going to give you the what it sound like. Hey, Michelle, good evening. I see you. That's right. Results orientation. Right? Results orientation. What do we say all the time? Anybody could get it. Be a little bit different. The knight is innovative and one of a kind. So when you see somebody wearing something that not too many people would wear, that's a knight. They are very unique. Eric is a high knight. Nobody was speaking with a cap on, that's for sure. Nobody was speaking in a professional setting with a cap on and a t-shirt. That's innovative. That's one of a kind. That's Eric. He's a high knight. Bishops are steady. They're steady. When I put sideways, I was supposed to put a dash because I don't want you to think that they're sideways or be talking out the side of their mouth because they don't. They're very supportive, but they move sideways, which means they don't like direct confrontation. They would much rather negotiate as opposed to conflict. They're steady, they're consistent, they're trustworthy. I can depend on them. They are dependable. You can depend on them too. And this is so important right now when you're talking about building your business because you're going to want people around you. You're going to want a team around you that is equally distributed on the chessboard. Now, I'm giving you a high science right here. I'm giving you a real high science right here because my copy guy is a high D. The C is right there, right? My systems guy, camera guy, editor is a high S right there. The girl who does the communications, the woman who does the communications and the data analysis and the conversations, she's a high I. I'm a high D. We got the whole board covered. And that's one reason why we getting the results that we getting because it's equally distributed. I don't want you to miss out. Somebody will say, oh, why are you telling them everything? No, I want you to know so you can get your team together. And if you understand that if everybody's like you, then you're lopsided. If everybody's like you, then you're lopsided. If you got a big heart and you like to hold people and hug people, that's cool. But you need a D. You need somebody who's gonna get the job done. And you need a C. You need a king. You need somebody who's gonna make sure the dollars are right at the end of the day, and your contracts are straight. Or you're gonna lose money and you're gonna lose opportunities because you're missing them while you're holding people. And there's nothing wrong with holding people and being the life of the party, but I got to be on the business. And I got to be on the door. You want to have the chessboard covered. Does that make sense to everybody? Just put it in the chat if that makes sense. I want to make sure I don't lose anybody on this because this is too important. Good. Very good. I've been studying this stuff since, like 7 years ago. 7 is probably 9 years ago now. My undergrad, my first class, as a matter of fact, and my associates, not my first, I think it was my second, Psychology 101. When I took Psychology 101, they introduced me to the DISC assessment. And I took one, and even then I was like, wow. I said, this is amazing. I said, this was amazing. I said, this is so deep. I said, this is so deep. But, and it is so deep, and that's one reason why they've kept it away from us for so long. They've kept it in their Fortune 500 companies, and they've used it for themselves to properly deploy themselves and to position themselves and to leave us kind of in the dark or in the dust or in the fog trying to figure out why our stuff don't work. So when I saw E bring this to the hood, it was like, ooh, mastermind move, good move. Let's go. But I had been acquainted with this long before. But see, when I see, I'm one kind of way, so I really didn't want to go into their organizations up under them and do something with them. So when E brought it out under his piece, I was like, okay, that's somebody I could relate to. That makes sense? So I don't want, what I'm saying is I don't want you to become disenfranchised with it because you're not acquainted with it. Please become acquainted with this, because we are supposed to study the success of others, whether we relate to them or not. So let's get specific. So the queen is a person primarily in this disc quadrant places emphasis on accomplishing results and seeing the big picture. This would be where you're taking notes, everybody. This would be where you're taking your notes. A person in this disc quadrant places emphasis on accomplishing results and seeing the big picture. They are confident, sometimes blunt, outspoken, and demanding. When communicating with disc, D-style individuals, give them the bottom line straight from the start. Be brief. Stay focused. I'm talking to you about your closing calls now. I'm talking to you about your communications and your emails. I'm talking to you about your phone calls now and your communications with your clients. I'm talking to you about your communications with your potential clients who will be clients if you do this right and who won't be clients if you do this wrong. So I'm talking to you about your future. I'm talking to you about your business. I'm talking to you about your brand. And I'm talking to you about your money. I'm talking to you about your cupboards being empty or full. Be brief. Stay focused. Avoid generalizations. Refrain from repeating yourself. And stick to solutions rather than problems. So I tell people all the time, don't come to me with a problem if you don't have a solution. Don't tell me about a problem if you don't have a solution. Don't come to me with a complaint, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a complaint. It sounds like a complaint that you're lazy, too lazy to think of. You're too lazy to think about it. That's why you're referring it to me. So my thing is this: don't tell me about a problem that you don't have a solution for. I'll hear the problem, hear the solution, and then say okay or nay, and we'll go from there. But don't come to me with just a complaint without having thought about it, because to me that says you're lazy and you don't really care. Everybody take enough notes on this? Be brief, stay focused. Don't be general, speak specific. I'd say go deep all the time. Be very specific and be solutions oriented. Let's go into the night. A person in this disc quadrant places emphasis on influencing or persuading others. They tend to be enthusiastic, optimistic, open, trusting, and energetic. This is why I'm able to do meetings for 4 hours. All I need is water. I don't even need to leave. I never said, take a 5-minute break. I might have played a video, but I never said take a 5-minute break, because I don't need one, right? A person in this quadrant places emphasis on influencing or persuading others. In my style of conversation, I'm very persuasive. I'm very energetic. I'm very enthusiastic. I really am. That's really me. I'm the same person on or off the call. I'm always moving. I'm always moving. I leave, I go sit down at the movies and I get up and I gotta go and I gotta move and I just gotta move. I can't sit still for long. Call it what you will. It's my personality. When communicating with I styles, share your experiences and allow them time to ask questions and talk themselves. So sometimes I'll be told that I'm talking over somebody. I'm not really talking over somebody. I'm a D2. I'm a high D2, so I think fast. So a lot of times they'll be talking slow, and I'll already hear what they had to say, and I'm responding to it. not the most polite or tactful way to hold a conversation, but I'm bottom line oriented. I want to get to the point and keep it moving. We're going to do business or we not. We're going to get money or we not. So when you talk to somebody that's a high D or a high I, keep it brief and give them time to talk, and they're going to let you know whether you need to come slow, you need to come fast, you need to come with the right price, or whether they're not interested in you at all and what you got to sell. Oh, focus on the positives. And do not give them too many details because we're not going to remember. We're not going to remember. I'm going to have some fun with this. We're going to have some real fun with this in the months to come because this is very important. It's very important. I want you all to be masters of psychology so that you close in minutes. See, I said when you position yourself correctly and you brand yourself correctly and your messaging is correct, then they're going to come 3/4 closed. And it's probably going to take you less than 15 minutes to close the deal. Yeah, we're not going to remember. We're not going to remember nothing you're saying. So stop talking. Ask open-ended questions. Write that down. Ask eyes open-ended questions. Don't ask us closed-end questions. What are closed-end questions? Closed-end questions are, do you? Open-ended questions are, how do you? So closed-end questions are, do you, which means it's a yes or no answer. A lot of times I'll ignore those, like you didn't even say that to me. An I, you want to say, how do you? So that they can go on and go on and go on and go on because they want to talk. They want to talk. So avoid overloading them with details and then try not to interrupt because we won't forget that. And we will hold it against you in the court of business. So that's the D, that's the I, that's the queen, and that's the knight. Ruthless pair on the chessboard. Now we got the bishop. Okay, so a person in this quadrant places emphasis on cooperation, sincerity, loyalty, and dependability. They tend to have calm, deliberate dispositions and do not like to be rushed. So the same way I'm running around moving fast, a person who's an S is more balanced, calm, and they looking at me like I'm crazy. And they, you know, if they on my team, then they trying to keep up. As a matter of fact, if they on my team, then it's a balance because where I'm moving fast, they checking all the details for what I missed because I left something at home. I promise you. I can't tell you how many times we'll show up to do the shoot, go to the video shoot or something, and I'll leave the microphone, and Jason will have a microphone, or I'll leave a voice card, and Jason will have one because he's an S. He was sure to he made sure that he brought 2 or 3, and I just wanted to get there on time. So think about this, and think about the examples I'm giving you, and think about yourself. Are you the type that left your keys at work, or left them in the computer because you was doing some work on the computer, and you put your flash drive in there, and you left your keys, or you left your keys in the car, or you left your pocketbook in the store? Or you don't know any phone numbers. All you know is you got a phone. And where's your phone? Matter of fact, you left your phone in the store. I'm so serious. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? I see one person says, whoa. Does anyone else relate to what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know somebody like this? Like I've given you 3 different styles so far. I've given you the queen, I've given you the knight, and I've given you the S. So some calm, slow, methodical, understanding, reflective, contemplative people are all either an S or a C. They are not a D and they are not an I. I speak the way I speak because I'm a D and I'm an I. So a D and an I does things fast. A D gets them done. An I likes to have fun while doing it. And then, but I need the S to make sure that all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed, because, you know, Eric uses the pilot. The pilot will take off on the plane. There won't be no gas in the car. There won't be no gas in the plane if it's not for the S, the way he puts it together. For me, the way I look at it is the queen will be all over the side, on the other side of the board, and there won't be no backup. So you want to make sure that when you start choosing your team for the real building of your business, the building of your business. See, let me make this very plain to you. The leader is the brand. The leader is the brand. So when I say brand yourself, I don't just say brand yourself. I say branded like a who? Like a leader, like you. I tell you to go into your story and unpack your leadership in your niche and brand that. But now we're moving into the business piece. You are not the business. You are the brand, but the business requires other people to be present. Don't miss this. Don't miss this, because this is where burnout happens. This is where tap out happens. This is where it's too much for me. I'm getting out of here. I can't do it all by myself. You can't. And you never will be able to. And if you only rock with people like you, you'll never make it either. You need people who are the direct opposite of you to complement you, so that you cover down on their strengths and they cover down on your weaknesses. So let me go back. A person in this quadrant places emphasis on cooperation, sincerity, loyalty, and dependability. They tend to have calm, deliberate dispositions and don't like to be rushed. Very important right here. When communicating with this DISC S style individuals, be personal and amiable. So if you start telling them about money, they're not going to be amused or encouraged. It's not going to drive it home for them. They need something more substantial. So you need to express your interest in them and what you expect from them. Be polite, avoid confrontation, and take time to provide clarification. So these people, do you understand? On the other side, and I'm gonna explain those to you right quick too, because the first two are extroverts. The first two are extroverts, so you need to speed things up when you're talking to a D or you're talking to an I, because we don't have patience. Now, when you're talking to an S or you're talking to a C, you're talking to an introvert, not an extrovert. You're talking to an introvert, so you need to slow down now. And I know it's a lot. And it's like, how do I ride bikes and chew gum and, think about what I'm going to get from the store at the same time? It's not the easiest thing in the world, but once you get it, it's like clockwork. And this is what makes businesses work, internally and externally. So in the systems department and in the sales department, personnel or people psychology, human psychology is what makes it work. So either you're going to know this stuff and you're going to run your own business, or someone else is going to figure this out and you're going to work in their business. Because if you don't know this stuff and you can't figure it out, then you will not successfully own a business. Does everybody understand that? We're going from the numbers to the people. We're going from the numbers to the people. We're going from the brand to the business and from the numbers to the people. You need people. You need people who you understand, and you need people who feel like they are understood and they are valued. Not the way you value people, the way they value people. That's why I'm giving you the communication piece, so you can speak to them in their language. Every one of these pieces has a different language. So the queen speaks Spanish fast. Well, no. The D speaks soldier. The D speaks soldier. The I speaks Spanish fast. The S speaks Old English. Very clear, very perfunctory. And the C speaks data. They speak numbers. They speak math. That's good. I didn't even write that down. Somebody write that down for me. The D speaks soldier. The I speaks Spanish super fast. Ra-da-da-da-da. You be like, what? Ra-da-da-da-da. The S speaks Old English, perfunctory and proper. And the C speaks mathematics. All right. I didn't even get to them yet. But here we go. So the king, a person in this disc quadrant places emphasis on quality and accuracy, expertise and competency. They enjoy their independence. Demand the details. They demand the details. And they often fear being wrong. So they will, what will happen to a C? What can you anticipate happening with a C? What is a king's problem? Let me see if you guys are paying attention. Read that first paragraph and tell me what the potential problem of a king could be. The last sentence. They enjoy their independence, demand the details, and often fear being wrong. Thank you for writing that down for me. I'm copying the chat because I'll forget. I promise I will. So what happens when you fear being wrong? What might you do? What problem might you have? Put it in the chat. If you want all, They demand the details. I want to know everything before I make a decision. I'm not sure yet. I don't have all the information. I need to wait and get more facts. Hesitate. Never do anything. Self-doubt. They might do nothing. They might get stuck. It's called, yes, all of you are right. Procrastination is the king's worst problem. Study long, study wrong. What is a queen's potential problem? Where do they run into trouble? High D, high queen, just running out there. What might be one of their problems? Not prepared. Move too fast. They don't have a plan. All of you are correct. Good, good. No back end. Talk about it. Yeah. All of those were my problems. Not from the top. Yep, from the top. All of those were my problems. So I need you to understand, like, this is the sweet science right here. This is the science of where you're going to get it right. So I had to give you the brand to give you the idea, give you the shield, give you something to put in front of it. Oh, yes, have to restart over and over again. Over and over again. So when communicating with the DISC C-style individuals, you want to focus on facts and details and minimize pep talk or emotional language. Emotional language doesn't resonate with them. Why? Because they do not care. C's do not love anybody. No, I'm just playing. C's don't care. They are cold. The C stands for cold-blooded. The king is very calculated. Ice running through their veins. Now I'm not. Listen, queens move fast. C's move slow. And they really, really don't care. If you rub them, this is why I'm telling you it's so important in how you talk, because if you rub them, okay, they used to call me the ice queen. if you move wrong, see, this is the thing. If you rub them the wrong, they can be loyal, they can be dependable, they will be your tried and true if they believe in what you're doing. If you have a plan that they can depend on, then they'll be there for the long haul. But if you show them that they can't depend on you, all you're gonna see is smoke. You're not even gonna hear them leave. All you're gonna see is smoke. So you need to be patient. You need to be persistent, and you need to be diplomatic. Because they are going to have a lot of questions. They are going to have a lot of questions. And if you're not patient, you'll get tired of it. And you'll be like, man, forget this. So you understand what I'm saying? Well, you got to be like a master psychologist in business. You really have to be a master psychologist in business, because you're dealing with all 4 of these personalities at any given time. And every time somebody's in front of you, it's one of these 4. And there's a mature side and there's an immature side. Yes, that's why. That's why you have a lot of questions. There's a mature side and there's an immature side. So it can be a fun fast. When I say fast, I mean speed, or it could be debilitating, very dangerous speed. So think of those who drink and drive, and then drive super fast while putting other people at risk. So there's a mature fast, and then there's an immature fast. So there's a mature queen, and then there's an immature queen. There's a mature I, always speaking a lot. And then there's an immature I who, when they speak, they cut. When they speak, they're very insulting, and they cut you with a smile. And they're good at it, and they know it. So this is where your verbal abusers come from. People who are really nasty, but they witty too, so you won't even know they really violating you. And sometimes they're very manipulative. The immature ones are manipulative. So you'll think the best of them, or you'll put it past them, and they'll be meaning you the worst the whole time. The S can be very supportive or unsupportive or falsely supportive. And the C can be the best person on your team or the worst person on your team, because they're the only ones that know what they're doing anyway. You won't even know they did it to you, because you won't be smart enough to know that they did it to you. And they won't get caught. So you want to be very, 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 very intelligent, patient, selective, and smart when you move from the brand to the business piece. Understood? Can I move forward?